Hey guys, so I'm not checking last night's homework because I'm going over the answers. All right, here we have two sides that are equal. So anytime they have numbers, just draw in the sides. And this is a right triangle, so HL works. Here I'm just going to label A, S, and then A. So if we go from left to right, or in this case, we would have to go AAS, SAA, which is the same thing, so it's AAS. Right here, if we label, we have A, we have an S, then we have an A. So if we read this again from left to right, it's AAS, and this one is ASA. So this would be none, and the reason would be different rules. Okay, this one, label your A's, label your S. I'm not always going to use the same color. And label your A. Then read from left to right, ASA, ASA. That's why that's the rule. All right, this one, if we thought this was HL, it's not. So that's an H, and that's an H. Notice how I'm using different colors. And that's an L, and I needed a fourth color. That's an L. So not the same tick marks, even though there's an H and an L. So it's none. Different sizes. And then the last one, the 4 and the 4 mean that we have the same size, so we put tick marks. The 5 and the 5 means that we have the same size, so we have S, A, and then S. So if you read from left to right, it's SAS, SAS. All right, the next section was a little hard to understand. First thing you had to do was put your own curves at an intersection and then put your own tick marks where they share, so you didn't have to write that down. But you did have to write down the final side that you would need to get SAS. So you will need AB and DB. Because if you have those two sides, then you can see the SAS very clearly. So these are the sides that we needed. So now I can say that ABC is congruent to DBE. This one wants you to have ASA. So we have two A's, we have two S's, and then we needed an A. So at first I put it here because I was like, oh, maybe it's like bottom to bottom. And then I was like, no, the other angle has to be on the same side as the tick marks. So couldn't use this one. So I needed B and D to be equal. So now when you write the name of your triangle, it would be A, who goes with E, B, who goes with D, and then C goes with B. So ABC is congruent to EDB. Last one wanted HL. We knew that these are shared. And if there's a right angle on the left, there has to be a right angle on the right. And then, of course, the only thing we would need is the H for HL. So we need this side. So that means AB has to be congruent to AD. And that's what I wrote here. You don't have to write the shared ones when they're asking for what's missing. So then I know that ABC is congruent to ADC. All right, this side of the homework, again, whenever there's a bow tie, draw your little middle of the bow tie and then draw your curves. So these curves become A's. These tick marks, S's. And then that given curve is an A. So if you read it from left to right, it's AAS. Okay, if you read this from left to right, it looks like ASA, but it's really AAS. So you kind of have to read this side the opposite from right to left. So AAS. And triangle ABC is going to be congruent. So A and E match up, so E has to come first. B matches with itself, and C matches with D. So remember, order matters. Okay, remember anything that's shared, you put your tick mark there and call it S. So these are equal, and these are equal because they have the same number. So we have altogether 3 S's for SSS. Remember, order matters, so A is going to match up with D. B is going to match up with C. And then C is going to again match up with B. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DCB, sorry. Actually, I was right. DBC. Did I say that right? Yeah. Okay. All right, next one. Again, if you're shared, we're going to put a tick mark, call it S. Then here I'm going to put a tick mark, call it S. And of course, all we have left is an A. So if we look from left to right, it's SAS. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ADC. Order matters. Okay, last one. This is definitely HL because they gave us the H, and the other side would be L. If they don't give you the H, and again, if you don't know what the H is always the side across from the box. So if you go to the box and look across, this is always the H. That side has to be the H. If you don't have an H, you can't do HL. So then you see here, I didn't have an H, so this couldn't be HL. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEB. Okay, last one, they just wanted you to draw your own triangle. So they said that there's a shared side. So that means you draw one triangle, and there's the shared side. And they said that it's ABC and then CBF. So you have to think to yourself, what's being shared? Okay, so let's see. We know that's equal and that's equal because it's HL. Then they said AB is congruent to CF, which doesn't really make sense because AB is supposed to be congruent to CB. So I don't know how AB would be congruent to CF. This is a bad example. We're going to cross it out because if it's AB, it's supposed to be congruent to CB. Let's move on. All right, so they said triangles share point C. This is a bow tie. I'm going to put point C in the middle. And then they said A was congruent to F. We know that because it's a bow tie. I'm going to put some curves there. And then they said that it had to be SAS. So let me put in the other points. Wait a minute. Oh, they said triangles share point C. How is that possible? Who made this up? Just ignore these two. These were bad examples. How do I know they're bad examples? Because they both had a C, and they should have shared C, not, yeah. Wait a minute. They shouldn't have both had a B. It's a bad example. Bad. Okay, well, good luck with this. Will help you with the second question, okay?